Hi, Jen. So thank you very much for joining us in our online event, Top Reconnection. We're very happy to have you here with us. Thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thank you, Jen. Great. Actually, the name of this event, we name it like Nothing Will Be As It Was. This is a Brazilian song, which has a version in English, and this is exactly how we feel. Nothing will be as it was. So
Nothing will be.
here we are.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
A brave new world.
Yeah.
So we're very happy to have you here, and it's an honor for us to have you representing SITE. If somebody doesn't know what it stands for, it's the Society for Incentive Travel Excellence, and you are 2020 president, right? The global association, and
Correct.
each country has a chapter.
Yes. So we have, I'm the current global president. It's a volunteer leadership role. I'm supported by a board of directors. And then Karina, who you're also chatting with, is our foundation president and her board of trustees as well. So.
Okay. So, Jen, which you think are the roles that an association like SITE plays and the importance of the professionals from this trade swing role?
I think I've always been a part of an industry association, from an MPI to an FICP into SITE for the last 10 plus years. And I think I've always gotten that sense of community out of joining an industry association, and now more so than ever. Right now, we have like the highest level of engagement with our members. We've been providing them basically a community, an outlet for them over this difficult time. And that goes from providing the education to providing opportunities at our grassroots, which were really our global chapters, which we have around the world. We can't be everywhere and understand everybody else's challenges. So we use our boots on the ground, our chapter leaders, to really connect with our members there. But because it's been virtual, I've had the benefit of attending more chapter events than I possibly could have if I'd been doing it all via flying to each chapter. So it's been great to connect with a lot of our members. We have 2,300 members globally, and just the good work that they're doing and how they're adjusting their businesses, et cetera, to accommodate, how they're supporting each other with mental health sessions and just fun happy hours. So I think the value of belonging to community is twofold. You're getting something out for you professionally, making great connections and learning, but also for you personally, because there's a lot of people right now that are furloughed or laid off, or entrepreneurs that are trying to figure out what to do next. And who better than other people that understand what you're going through to be there as a supportive community for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So kind of you already replied what I was going to ask next, but I think we can talk a little bit about this, how international associations contribute to improvement of MICE industry professionals. So we talked about community, the sense of belonging to a community, which is more than ever important. But also it has the professional side, because SITE has a lot of regular courses and there's a certificate, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think it's, there's a few points. One is, our involvement in the Event Industry Council and Meetings Mean Business and other industry collaborations where we're doing government advocacy work. We're trying to create standards within the industry. And then specifically for SITE, it's, we want to be with our incentive travel professionals throughout their career. So our certified incentive specialist is our entry level, like 5 years less experience. And then you've got our certified incentive travel professional, which we just had CITP week. So a lot of people have written that exam this week. And that's really for your manager, director. You definitely need demonstrative incentive travel experience to succeed at that exam. And now we've had CITE, which is our certified incentive travel executive. And we're looking at what does that look like in the future? What does our next level, executive level education? But beyond the certifications and the certificates comes just the knowledge sharing that we have through the research that our foundation does, and articles and blogs that our community writes on what's happening within the industry right now, what's relevant, how does reward and recognition help support motivation, employee engagement. So there are all these resources that you professionally can use as a tool when you're talking to a customer or even if you're a supplier as a DMC, I'm always love talking to somebody that's much more articulate and understands our side of the business and what we're trying to do for our clients, right? So the more that we can have these certifications and educations, the more we can elevate our profession, we can elevate ourselves professionally as well. So advocacy and professional engagement. And then of course, there's always the networking opportunities and the opportunity to do business with each other.
Because the certifications, especially in North America, are very well recognized by end clients. So the company that is doing an incentive, the professional working there, they know about site and they know, the certifications and then everything that the association does. But especially in countries that we are kind of new, let's say Brazil, the chapter is not, it's more South America, right? How do you think site can contribute with better practice as an association? So it does take a time once the chapter is new in a new location, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's really, there's twofold. There's, even if you can't write the certification or you're not to that level yet, we do offer currently to our members, due to COVID, we're offering all of our education online complimentary. And then there's great other education out there for your own professional development right now. But as a chapter, when I was Site Canada president, we really looked at what were the needs of our individual chapters. Some chapters around the world are very DMC heavy, some are more agency, suppliers. So, Site Canada's got an education day coming up on October 28th, I think it is. It's at sitecanada.org, but it's open to anybody in the site community to attend that conference. So, reach out to them and see what industry topics they're talking about. And I think the best thing that we have within our community, even with the smallest chapter, is we have resources at our fingertips. So put together a panel or have a dialogue den or a brainstorming session, and you'll figure out as a community how much you can learn from each other. So it doesn't have to take a lot of resources. It's just a little bit of ingenuity. And then one of the things that Rebecca Wright, our head of events, just did is created a chapter excellence guideline. So we're really trying to work with our chapters first in order to give them the tools to provide that education to your local members.
Great. So as our event says, nothing will be as it was, and events will not be the same either. So how do you think pandemics will change the conception of events even after we have a vaccine?
Yes, I wish I had a crystal ball. It's the most
difficult question. Yeah.
Difficult question. It's challenging, but just like every other crisis that we've gone through in our history, I've been doing this for over 30 years, from 9/11 to SARS, to recessions, to hurricanes, to fires, and like 9/11. The learnings we gather from that make us stronger. So through crisis comes innovation, and we can already see that with some things on just the development of the virtual platforms, right? And how far those virtual platforms have even come into 6 months with their ability to do exhibits and networking based, not face to face, but online, as face to face as we get these days. So I think just like 9/11 brought more enhanced security standards, what this pandemic is going to bring us to is things like understanding health security. So what that means is, understanding what protocols you have to have in place before an attendee boards that airplane on site. What are the transportation? What are the logistics? What are the hotel hygiene measures? So DMCs have always been well prepared for the what if, right? So now within those crisis management plans have to include, what if somebody gets a temperature on site? So how do you check a rapid COVID test, or what hospital infrastructure, what do you have? How are you going to manage the rest of the group? So there's definitely going to be health security. On the positive, I think too, that people have understood the value of face-to-face. There's a different connection with people. You get a much more in-depth understanding of people. You have different conversations. I was saying to someone the other day, I was just in this middle of this great conversation on a Zoom conference with somebody, and then the host ends the call, right? And you just kind of feel like the carpet's been ripped out from underneath you. So it's going back to those, the best conversations were in the lobby bar or at the water coolers type of thing. But what they are going to do, I think attendees overall, incentives or meetings, are going to hold us as event designers much more accountable. So, Tahira and Dean, our site head of events, wrote a book called Intentional Event Design. And we really do need to look at, if I can be a talking head virtually and it works for people, or I can go into a breakout or whatever, how as an event designer, I'm going to make sure that the engagement is different and it's worth you going through a little bit of, challenge to get there, because there'll be, slower lines and things like that. And I might have to do a temperature check. So what can we build within our infrastructure of programming that's going to make it really worth that attendee? So I think the attendees are going to hold us accountable. On the incentive sides, the things that are happening right now, smaller personalized programs, they're going to be looking for venues that they can do buyouts out of, or like if they can buy out a train or a plane, a hotel, outdoor space. Resorts are very popular. And then, we've all spent a lot of time with our families. And even before this happened, the millennial generation coming up and doing incentive travel programs, we're really asking for more family-friendly programs. So I think you'll see an even bigger boom on that. For the short term, people are going to stay, regional, local, then go to national and international. So looking for places that are unique, that maybe aren't as far of a flight for the short term until, like you said, until we get the vaccine. I think there's a bit of comfort that needs to be built, a consumer confidence that needs to be built as well.
Yeah, we kind of need to build before the vaccine kind of a cocoon, right? So everybody's gonna walk around like a bubble.
Yeah, and it's what we've proven, and what I was saying on a different call about government advocacy, what the hotels and the transportation and the DMCs, all the factors we put into place to show that we can. I participated in a Site Turkey event. I think it had 750 people or something in person and 10,000 people on the phone. I can't remember the numbers, but either way, this hybrid event is going to happen. So, but we're prepared for it. And as an industry, we're so resilient and so resourceful. So how do we communicate to governments that we are ready to go back to face-to-face meeting in a safe way as well? But the hybrid is definitely here to stay. And if you had our Site Young Leaders is next week, which will be already happened by the time you see this, but the Site Young Leader Conference, usually we get 70, 80 people. We're probably going to end up with closer to 300 because virtual allows you to expand that audience. So it's not going anywhere. So when you do plan for your future events, you're going to need to have, the streaming and the bandwidth. Right now I'm doing a lot of meetings that are taking national meetings and making them regional. So there'll be one in Toronto, one in Vancouver, one in Montreal, with the keynote speaker being streamed, but then different pods of education happening in the different regions, right? So a lot of logistics. Now is the time to definitely invest in a good team to support your work, partnering with the right lawyers for the risk and mitigation, the teams with the AV production companies with the streaming and the bandwidth. It could be even talking to a local doctor or hospital nurses in order to understand the infrastructure in that area. Just become as educated as you can about your destination and how it's prepared and the hotels in your region in order to be able to build that confidence when you're selling your destinations or your companies to agencies or corporate direct.
Yeah. So and this is already what we wanted to talk about next, which are actually the major challenges and changes in the incentives organizations. So besides, because the event planner had to know about catering and logistic and hotel and a little bit of everything, and now we need to know about health, about litigation, what is force majeure, no? And you want to compliment a little bit on that, things that we can expect, because we're seeing already internet. It used to be important. Now it's even more important. So
yeah, no, I would just build upon what I was saying about building a team, right? You cannot, I probably review myself 500 contracts a year, right? I'm quite savvy when it comes to force majeure and rebooking, reselling them, all that type of thing. But I also rely on lawyers to, answer my questions on what thing. And right now, the hotels will want more robust force majeures, as will the clients. So how do we make sure that it's still a win-win situation for everybody? But you're right. I would just stay educated. I mean, LinkedIn is a great resource. The Event Industry Council's got some great resources as well. Lots of event managers' blogs. So just keep reading up on it so that at least you can be articulate to your clients on that you understand it, and that you can refer them to somebody that might be an expertise, like Dr. Jonathan Bradshaw. He was on one of our site webinars. I interviewed him and a couple other people on health security. He was just named one of the top 25 influencers in the meeting industry today. He's really helping our industry go back to work by providing. He was in Vancouver at our Site Global conference, providing meditation and rooms and talking more about stress management. And then, 2 months later, we're on a phone with him talking about rapid COVID tests and temperature screening and what you need to know and how you should be prepared. I know that some of my clients, after some of the terrorism and 9/11, chose to travel with undercover police officers for their own peace of mind. I can see some of them traveling with their own nurse practitioner or doctors on site if they're taking a large amount of their employees outside of the country.
Yeah.
That's something that I didn't think about. It's so true. Like some incentives from Brazil, they travel with their own photographer. Now they're gonna travel with their own doctor.
Yeah. No, and also someone that can communicate with the local doctors. So that's another thing, because say if the language is a barrier, and then if that person who is not feeling well, which might panic, so the doctor who is with the group should be able also to communicate. So besides being a doctor, has to be bilingual as well. To make the communication easier, that's for sure. Yeah.
And people think our jobs are easy. It's just an event.
It's challenging, isn't it?
It is challenging. Even the virtual world right now, people have really diminished the value of virtual events and how much logistics go into it, because everybody thinks they can run their own Zoom meeting. But you guys have seen already about what the production and the timing and the speaker management and the attendee registration. It's not your child's Zoom birthday party. It's a little bit more complicated than that, which is why we need to hire experts.
That's true. And especially when you have people from all over, and even if everybody speaks English, each person has a different accent, and you don't know if the audience, how their level of understanding is. So this is why we also wanted to do this recording part, because then we have the chance, hopefully everybody seeing the subtitles in Portuguese.
I was actually I feel bad for the person that I talk so fast that they're probably it's a challenge. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's gonna be me. I'll let you know.
But you have too many things to say in a short time, so there's no other way but just to speak short. So we get more from you. So that's
anytime.
Okay.
Anytime.
I will help.
Jen, we want to thank you very much. Thank you for your time. We know you're very, very busy. Besides being, you have your own company, your president is your Site Global, and I know you're an entrepreneur, so you're always looking for something new. So thank you very, very much for your time and for spending this couple of minutes with us. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
Been great. Thanks, Jen.
Thanks.
Thank you. And we hope to see you maybe in May with IMAX. So we hope to see you there so we can meet in person.
Great.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.